Hey, this is Eugene, and welcome to Give Yourself Some Leeway, the podcast dedicated to helping high achievers on the verge of burnout reclaim a healthier work life balance without sacrificing their growth or success. Now, my focus for the month of January has been around goal setting, and you probably know that I'm already blue in the face from hearing people say that New Year's resolutions is the only time that they ever try to set a goal. If you want a desire to change, if you want to change into the next best version of you, you can start any time you want. You could start today. And that's why I'm asking people to use the month of January to get clarity on the goals they want to set for 2023. Today, I want to give you a systematic approach to get clarity on your goal setting. A study by the University of Scranton researched New Year's resolution statistics, and they discovered that people who explicitly make resolutions are 10 times more likely to attain their goals than people who don't explicitly make resolutions. So, what does this mean for you? It means that if you implement the actions of today's episode, that you are in the very small minority that both makes goals and is dedicated to achieving them. So grab a pen and paper, be that your journal or a notebook, and implement today's steps. And if you can't grab a pen and paper right now, listen back to this episode later when you get a chance to really get the full value of this episode. The first step to achieving your goal is knowing what it is. So, what is your goal? What do you want out of life? What are your true desires? Now, I emphasize the word true because very often people's goals are not their own, meaning that they think they want what they want because they have been influenced by others. So you really need to get other people out of your head. Ask yourself, who do you allow to direct your life? Do you do what your parents or your friends think you should do? Do you desire things just because you saw them on TV? Do you limit yourself to what others will approve of? When is the last time you asked yourself what you really want? If you are going to have any chance of accomplishing your goals you set for yourself, they absolutely must be yours. If you don't even really want it, how do you expect to follow through when things get tough or the motivation is just not there? Motivation can only fuel you for so long. Motivation is a waning thing.
The next step is to write your goals down on paper, and this is absolutely key. Not only are you giving yourself a concrete object to return to in order to remind yourself of your goals and help you to remain focused, you'll also be sending a message to your unconscious mind that you mean business. Now, it may be that you're starting this process and you already have your clearly defined goal in mind, or maybe you know that you have goals, but you still want to get some help identifying your true goals. In either case, writing them down on paper is a foundational part of goal setting and helps you identify both your goals and how to solidify them and how they fit into the bigger picture of your life. Now, the first step for writing everything down is that I want you to do a brainstorm or a word web or mind map or whatever you like to call it, and just do a complete mind dump or mind vomit or just a complete mental deload, however you like to phrase it. Just write down everything you can think of, big or small, that you would like to change, achieve, or do in your life. You know, all these little goals that you have floating around your head. Now, for the sake of this exercise, we'll be focusing on long-term goals that are within 1 year. So what are these goals for 2023? Of course, when you're doing a mind dump, you might come across goals that will take longer than a year, but write them down anyway and try to focus on the parts of that goal that you think you could complete within 1 year. And these goals can be personal, they can be work-related, or they can be both. Now, what I want you to do here is write down at least 50 different goals. So take a moment to pause here, write down your 50, and we'll continue with step 2. All right, now that we have a list of over 50 different goals, I want you to simplify it. Now look at your list and group items that are similar or that can be combined into one larger goal. Now the next step is to prioritize. Now look at your list of simplified goals and circle the ones that you feel are your highest priority. Now rate each circled goal on a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being the highest priority and 3 being the least. Another tool to help you visualize it is you could use colors like green for 1 for your highest priority, then yellow or red then for your least priority. And then the final step is to identify 1 or 2 major goals for the year. So you'll probably be looking at the green circles, which are your highest priorities. And you want to pick 1 or 2 of these goals that, one, what will make the biggest impact in my life? So you want to, something that will help you break through to become the next best version of you. And 2, will it take me about a year to implement this, to get this goal going? So it can't be something that you can accomplish next week or accomplish within 3 months. It has to be a long-term goal, something that will take you the year to complete that you can break into smaller steps. For example, this podcast is one of my main goals for this year, growing this podcast, because I know I can't do it in 1 week. I know it's going to take me longer than 3 months. And I can break down my progress to achieving the goal of building the podcast over a year. So if you didn't get a chance to do this exercise right now, do come back to this episode to get the full value out of it. I really hope this helps you identify what you truly want to achieve in 2023. And again, solidify how this goal fits into the bigger picture of your life.
Well, I hope you liked this episode and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, subscribe to the show, because it makes sure that you don't miss out on new episodes, and it also helps me because it increases the rankings of the show a little bit, which of course makes it a little more easily found by other people who may like it just as much as you. And if you didn't like this episode or anything about the show in general, or if you have any ideas or suggestions or just feedback that you want to share, shoot me an email, eugene@leeway.ie, and let me know what I could do better, or just what your thoughts are on what you'd like to see me do in the future. I read everything myself. I'm always looking for new ideas and constructive feedback. So thanks again for listening to this episode, and I hope to hear from you soon.